Dearest gentle listeners, you are listening to the Ladies Bridgerton, the talk of the town. We are your effervescent hosts, your neighborhood-friendly Kiwi touch from Middle-earth, New Zealand.
And Patty, Regency romance enthusiast, currently writing her high vibe and loved era. It's our first halftime spectacular, and we've chosen to truly discuss how the Bridgerton characters would play in the world of Harry Potter.
Which couple do you think we're going to get next?
Mm-hmm.
We have Hyacinth and Gareth.
Ooh, I've only read that book once, and that's been a while ago, so that's gonna be hard.
But I do recall his personality. Okay, so Hyacinth's Hogwarts house. She's kind of a mix between I think she's a Gryffindor.
I think Gryffindor first, Ravenclaw sub.
I was like tossing up between Ravenclaw and Gryffindor because she's incredibly intelligent. She's very astute. She loves to solve herself a mystery. Like, she drives herself crazy. But
she's all about the underdog. Like, every time a sibling is after one person, she always brings up the person they're really in love with because they're the underdog at the time.
Mm-hmm. No one wanted to marry her because she was so intelligent. They said,
intimidating.
Like, no one wants a wife who's more intelligent than them, was basically what Gareth was told. So for those who have not read Hyacinth and Gareth's book yet, the entire plot line is surrounded by the fact that Gareth is trying to find his mum's inheritance. His mum left letters and his grandma, and they're trying to uncover this huge mystery. He's got to break into his ancestral home multiple times, trying to find where this hidden treasure is. And literally, even in the epilogues of their book, she is still trying to find this treasure. Spoiler alert, she does, but it takes her literally like 20 years.
And that just shows how tenacious she is as well, which I think is a Gryffindor trait. It ekes out Gryffindor a little more than Ravenclaw, because when she sinks her teeth into something, she does not let go.
Mm-hmm. Like, if I was to place families into houses as a whole, I would say that the Bridgertons are Gryffindor.
They're kind of like the Weasleys.
The Featheringtons are definitely Slytherin. The Cowpers are Slytherin. Okay, so we've got spouse for for Hyacinth. She likes someone a little bit more daring. I was gonna say,
and we're going, everybody's the same age, right?
Yeah, because obviously we see them at a younger age and older age, so we can just pick which iteration we want. I think, like, young
Sirius.
I actually think it would be Harry. Think about the similarities between Gareth and Harry. Both have like a lot of childhood trauma.
True.
Both felt rejected by their families in different ways. Obviously, for Harry, it was by his father.
Well, the same with Sirius. Sirius was the black sheep. I mean, literally, of his last name's Black, but he's the black sheep of the Black family. His values do not align with his family, and there's a falling out. And
Gareth also tries to go and do things on his own and tries to protect Hyacinth, and like really does not want her involved, but then eventually takes her involvement because he knows that she's incredibly intelligent, just like Harry with Hermione. Although obviously this doesn't eventuate into anything. Yeah. But very, very similar kind of storylines between them.
Yeah.
But I can see Sirius fitting as well, young Sirius. But I think young Sirius is a little bit more...
I think he's a little reckless. But I think that Hyacinth herself, like, Gareth had this recklessness about him.
He did. Yeah.
Until...
And he had a very rakish kind of...
vibe.
Well, people thought that he was a rake in the ton, but really
wasn't.
It was just he wasn't interested.
Yeah.
Okay,
but I also think he was a little reckless because of like the way he communicated with his father and things like that. Like, he didn't help his cause, and Hyacinth kind of helped him elevate from that. And I think she would have done the same with young Sirius.
Yeah. I can definitely
Sirius might not have ended up in Azkaban had Hyacinth actually made it into Harry Potter world.
Yes. Okay,
Hyacinth would have been like, no, there is a better way to do this.
Patronus.
Ooh.
For Hyacinth, it's got to be something highly, like an animal that's highly intelligent and a little
Yeah,
bit sneaky.
I think hers would be like dolphin.
Mine's a dolphin.
Like I think hers would be very, because it's very intelligent and they're very cheeky and they're very protective of other things in the water. Like they've protected humans from sharks. There are
Yes.
known stories of that.
They just
And
like to abuse sharks, to be honest. I don't think she's
well,
quite
and
that
not even that
playful.
too, but there's the dolphins over in um the English Channel and the Mediterranean that were going after yachts because that one, or no, wait.
Yes. Yeah.
Was
No,
that
that was a
dolphins or was
that was
that was
it's an
whales?
it's no,
Orcas.
it was no, an orca is a dolphin, not a whale.
True.
Mm-hmm. They're called killer whales, but they're actually dolphins because
Right.
one of the babies got killed, and so they started killing off humans in
And for
response.
generations, it went through 2 or 3 generations. They taught their children to do the same thing.
Yeah, they do not
That
forget.
that is holding a grudge, and I think that would also be
They
Hyacinth.
must be Greek. Okay, Patronus. I actually am gonna go with like a red squirrel, like a red-tailed squirrel, because they are cheeky, they are very calculating, they are very highly intelligent, but people don't suspect them because they're cute.
I see that.
They're able to get into hard to get to places, like
And I
her
could
getting
see her
through the
being like
windows
a
because she was
fox.
small enough.
Yeah, I could.
I went fox originally, and then I thought, I actually really like the squirrel for her. She
Yeah.
squirrels away her information, her little nuts of information.
Well, and foxes are known, especially in England,
Yes.
like they're
Yes.
hunted. So I don't see Hyacinth as actively choosing something that like she would want to be a little bit more discreet.
Cunning. Yeah.
Like, yeah, like you
Yeah.
can't catch me. Her Patronus is the gingerbread man.
Can't touch this. Da, na, na, na,
Can't
na,
catch
na,
me.
na.
I'm the
Can't touch
gingerbread
this.
man. Her Patronus is MC Hammer.
What would be her boggart? Never
Mm.
finding the money.
Hmm?
Her boggart is this pile of money, or she doesn't know what the treasure is. She just knows there is a treasure. But her boggart is never finding the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Her boggart's just a rainbow with money that she can never catch.
I think her boggart would be like kind of like the scene at the end of Scooby-Doo where they say this person is not this person, they're actually this person, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yes.
when she clearly announces the bad guy is actually and pulls the mask off, she's completely wrong. That's
Yeah.
her boggart. That's her biggest fear, is to be wrong.
Yes. Yeah, I can see that one.
So she like opens the treasure and nothing's there. Or, you know, she pulls the mask off of somebody that everybody thinks is a bad guy, but she believes it's someone else and she's just completely wrong. No mask comes off. She's just yanking on their hair.
What would be her favorite class?
Honestly, I think her favorite class would be kind of like, I don't think it would be the exact thing of where Harry worked with Snape specifically for, you know, a defense
I was
against
gonna
like
say
the mind control
say
thing.
I was gonna say defense against the dark arts in general, because I think that occlumency falls under that guise.
But I think her favorite class would be something that she had individual attention from the teacher, and like how Harry was being taught by Snape to block mental control, right? So
Yes.
I don't necessarily think it would be I can't even say it.
Occlumency.
Occlumency, yeah. Occlumency, but you know, maybe defense against the dark arts.
Oh, actually, so you think that she would be practicing legitimacy so that she can read people's thoughts? I could see that for sure.
But it's more of an, instead of it being a class like with other students, it would be more like an apprenticeship. Like I think that if she was working one-on-one with the teacher, she would love that way more than having a whole class, because she would feel like if I'm in a class, they're going to hold me back. Like she wants it to be just herself.
It'd be tutoring. Yeah. Okay. I can see that for sure. Yeah. I think legitimate. Well, because I said defense against. Well, I was going to say defense against the dark arts for those kinds of reasons as well. is I think she would want to know how to protect herself, and she would be the first one in there, like, doing the thing. She'd be like volunteering to verse other people. She'd be putting what was her Patty? No,
She'd be leading the Dumbledore army class where they were
she would
training.
be. If she were a Harry Potter character, she would be Ginny.
Yeah, very much, I believe. Ginny from the later books, not early Ginny.
She had to grow into it, you know. She was young in the early books. She was like, she was 10 in the first book. Let's move on to Gareth. So he's obviously a lesser character and is one of the very last that we do get to meet, so we don't get as much of him, but I think I know enough to kind of place him.
See, I'm thinking Hufflepuff because he's very into family and he allows Hyacinth to lead and he's willing to follow. Hufflepuffs are very much like the army, like they're not the officer, you know, not saying that they're followers necessarily, but they are good soldiers for a good leader. And they're very loyal.
Yeah. Okay, so let's
I don't think he's Slytherin.
Well, you know what? Slytherin gets a really, really bad rap.
Bad rap, yeah.
That was the way that they were written by.
But most Slytherins do that, like the ends justify the means business. And I think Hyacinth is more like that than Gareth is in the book.
I was kind of leaning towards Gareth being a Gryffindor. I actually think that Gareth is a Slytherin. So the fact that he's very ambitious, he's very focused on goals, like he is very focused on finding out his mum's history and finding out about himself. He's very self-reliant. He does not want to rely on Hyacinth at all. The only reason that he goes to Hyacinth is because she is able to read and decode. Was it Italian?
Italian, yeah.
It was Italian, yeah. That's the only reason why he goes to her, is because he trusts her enough and he needs to be able to decode what the writing is saying. And that's the only reason why. And then she gets
invested. She just barreled in and took over.
She very much did. Yeah, so I'm gonna vote Slytherin for Gareth, actually.
I'm good with that. The Sorting Hat is choosing Slytherin.
Spouse, it has to be Ginny. Has to be.
I'm gonna say old school, like Lily.
Yes,
young Lily.
Yeah.
Young Lily is very Hyacinth coded.
Yes, actually, I 100% agree with that, and likes to tame herself a bit of a bad boy.
Correct.
And because
whether he truly is bad or everyone just he gives off that impression.
I mean, James was a little bit of a prick, let's be real. Yes, Garrett, anything, like, it was like, you know, yes, Garrett, anything you say, Garrett.
Yes, Gareth, anything you say, Gareth, yeah.
Oh, I can't remember the line, but it was phenomenal. A little overused, if I'm being honest, in the writing, but like phenomenal nonetheless.
Well, I think because it was sarcasm and it's very Hyacinth, and I think that it will play with the Hyacinth they've created in the show very well. Like, because look at, like, she wants to be in society so bad right now, and we see the look on her face in that promo thing for season 4. Like, I think she's gonna get a big eye-opening, like, oh my gosh, is this really what it is? These women are vapid. And then so by the time it really is her time, right, her season, I think she will just be thumbing her nose at society and just making fun of it at every turn, and that's going to play out in yes, Gareth, anything you say, Gareth.
Yeah.
Gareth's Patronus. I don't think I remember enough about his story to pick out an animal.
Patronus.
Unless, I mean, if we go mystical creatures, and his Patronus is a dragon because his mother had a treasure somewhere, and what protects a treasure but a dragon?
He's seeking treasure, his protective. Let's go dragon. I vibe with that.
Yeah, his Patronus is a dragon.
His boggart would be his father.
Yeah.
Just his father. His dad tried to sell him off. He tried to sell him off as if he was a female to the next door neighbor. And the next door neighbor's child was meant to marry the oldest son, who died, I believe.
Yes, his oldest brother died.
And then he was meant to marry her off. Marry the next door neighbor, but she was mentally
she was
deficit,
developmentally disabled.
I think in the book they call it like mentally deficit or something, some term like that.
Like she's simple.
It wasn't that she had the mind of a child.
Yeah, they weren't capable of complex thought because they had the mind of a child. But yeah. Like she couldn't problem solve. She could not make the decision for herself. No. Truthfully. Yeah.
And he essentially was saying that to be with her and to create an heir, because it's like, you just need to create an heir, so that he'll pay me out. And basically it was just a big business transaction because Gareth's father massively mishandled money and was in incredible
she couldn't consent debt. She couldn't consent to the act and that would create an heir.
It would be non-consensual, and he wasn't willing to do that, and so that is why he fell out of the graces of his father. Boggart, it would have to be his dad. I don't think there's anything. His father's ghosts. Favorite class? I'm going to go with Ghoul Studies because he wants to know his mother's secrets and his family history.
Well, and I was thinking the history one too, because he's into his family's lineage and everything. Stay golden, pony boy.
Okay, for today, gentle listeners, we will leave it there. And if you're enjoying our podcast, please remember to click follow on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you are listening.
Once again, thank you for listening to the musings of two mad women.
Yours truly, Tash the Kiwi.
And Lady Patty. That seems to be a you problem.
You're a me problem.
I want to be somebody's mess.
You are my mess, Patty.